Welcome back to another rebuild I have for you guys here today on Madden 19. Today it is going to be a realistic rebuild of the Houston Texans, and I have quite a bit to say before I actually get into the video, so let me get started. First off, let me just say that I'm sorry for not having many videos up the past few weeks. It was coming to the end of the semester for me in college. I had a couple finals, all that good stuff, so preparing for that took some time. I wasn't really able to make that many videos, so I apologize for that, but I should be getting back on the grind for this summer, should be able to upload it really frequently. Another thing I want to note is actually sort of exciting. I'm going to be starting a second channel. This channel will be used for Madden, the current one you're on now, or just any kind of sports games I'm interested in, maybe just football in general, you know. That second channel will be used for pretty much everything else I like to play. So I like to play Call of Duty quite a bit. I will transfer my Road to Commander onto that channel. I haven't uploaded that Road to Commander in a few months, I understand, but I kind of had this plan all along that I wanted to make a second channel come summer, so I will be transferring that Road to Commander onto that second channel, so if you have missed it, make sure you go and check out that channel. I will also have a more in-depth video describing what exactly will be on my second channel. I'll upload that onto my second channel probably the same day this video goes live. So make sure you go ahead and check that out if you are interested in it. It would be cool to see how many people actually want to see me play some other games other than Madden, but like this channel won't be affected. The uploads for this channel will not be affected whatsoever. I'll still be uploading frequently here. I'm not sure exactly how frequently I'll be uploading on the second channel, but I will talk about that in a video on that channel. That is all the new stuff I wanted to get out of the way before this video started, and as always, my Discord and my Twitter are linked in the description. You guys can click on those links if you would like to. But let's get into the team here of the Texans. They have quite a talented one. Their defense, 87 overall compared to their 79 overall offense. But here on offense, they have Deshaun Watson, who plays like a god in simulation. He has star development. He should go up very, very nicely. Lamar Miller plays well every once in a while. I like him as a running back, and not exactly sure how long I'll keep him. He's getting up there, you know, in age. He's 27 years old, getting to that point. You're teetering on regression, really. So hopefully he doesn't regress too badly. DeAndre Hopkins, top 3 wide receiver in the entire NFL. Maybe number 1 to some people. Ridiculous wide receiver there. Will Fuller is a fantastic deep threat. Him and Deshaun Watson have quite the connection. He scores a lot of touchdowns whenever Watson is in. And then Kiki Kuti is also here. I'll probably have Will Fuller play the slot and then number 2. That's normally what I like to do with you know, the faster deep threat kind of wide receivers. They seem to develop really well in that aspect. And you guys have probably already noticed, but I have updated rosters with rookies in them. So Titus Howard is starting at right tackle, and I think this is Max Sharping starting at left tackle. They were just drafted in real life. Titus Howard has a face, I guess. I'm not exactly sure whose picture that is. But yeah, I have this roster. A bunch of you guys suggested that I should use something like this. I wasn't really totally for it, but I will try it out for a couple of videos just to see how it goes. The Texans didn't have the most exciting draft of all time. Right, they used their first round draft pick on Titus Howard. But once we get into like the Cardinals or the Dolphins players or teams that changed a lot throughout the draft and drafted some pretty interesting players, I think it'll be fun. But that's the offense. The defense, I'm not sure if there's even any rookies starting on this side of the ball, you know, who were just drafted. But of course, in this roster, Justin Reed is still considered a rookie. He's a beast. I can't wait to see what he does. Tayshaun Gibson isn't too bad at free safety. I think he's like 27 years old. He's 28 years old, so I can keep him for at least a few years. Jonathan Joseph, Bradley Roby, and Aaron Colvin are the cornerbacks. I guess Brand Body Calhoun is also here. I kind of thought he was more of a safety, maybe a nickel corner, strong safety kind of dude. Linebackers are actually nice on this team. Jadeveon Clowney is a beast. Whitney Merciless, also a beast. Bernardrick McKinney, Zach Cunningham play very well in simulation. DJ Reader, JJ Watts, and I don't know your first name. Brandon Dunn. Okay. Those guys are on the defensive line. Of course, J.J. Watt, like the best player on this defense. This defense is quite scary. They normally play well in simulation. Special teams, looking all nice and whatnot. And I actually didn't check out specialist yet, so let me adjust it how I want it to be first. I actually didn't have to change all that much here. The only thing I think I changed was Will Fuller being the slot wide receiver. Everything else was kind of set in place. That's how the team is going to look for this first season. This team normally plays well, in Madden at least. They played well in real life last year too. Obviously, they made the playoffs, but let's see what they can do this season. I simulated a week, and the team signed Ndamukong Suh. I'm okay with this. I'm going to keep him for this season. You know, he's actually still a free agent, so it's not that terribly unrealistic that the Texans would go out and sign him. He's also not a bad nose tackle, so I'm going to go with him for this season. I probably won't re-sign him at the end because his overall should plummet. He's in his 30s now. Let me see how old he is. He is 31 years old. I'll keep him for this season. Free agency wasn't even open for me. I got that weird glitch where it said I was in a fantasy draft, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And I just simulated 1 week to make sure the team was all set, and the team signed Ndamukong Suh. So I'm actually okay with that. We're going to keep him for this year. The team is playing very well this season. We are 7-1 currently, sitting on top of the AFC South. That's what I like to see. Few players have some experience points there on offense, and then on defense, everybody aside from J.J. Watt, actually, all the starters have some experience points. Jadeveon Clowney, I very much would like back on the team. Kaimi Fairbairn, I like him as well. He's a good kicker, and then I don't really care about anybody else down there. So Jadeveon Clowney, let's go with him first. This is going to be a huge deal, but he's worth it. He's an excellent pass rusher, especially in the game. He puts up ridiculous numbers. Fairbairn, he's a good kicker like I mentioned earlier, so let's give him over $1 million salary. Why not? And that's actually all I want. We ended up with a first round bye here after the first season. How did the team do? 10-5-1, so we actually didn't play all that well the second half of the year. The Colts were 10-6, they came back a bit. The Jaguars and the Titans were both 5-11. So we started off so well this season and then didn't really end on a good note. So we won the first 4 games, lost by 4 points to the Cowboys, won 4 straight again. Lost to the Redskins, lost to the Titans, tied to the Browns, lost to the Colts, lost to the Jets, won the last 2. So there was a pretty short stint, not really short, there was a 5-game stint where we did not play that well. Drew Brees wins MVP though, was not Deshaun Watson, probably very close to the top though. 4,577 yards, 36 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That is a great season to have. Lamar Miller wasn't good really at all. 965 yards, 5 touchdowns. Might have to look to replace him in free agency if I can. Deontay Foreman, 4 rushing touchdowns for him. Lamar Miller doesn't play all that well for me. It sucks because he's a pretty decent running back in real life. He's more than decent. He's a solid running back in real life, but doesn't really play all that well for me in simulation. Darren Fells got over 1,000 yards. That's really surprising to me. On 93 catches. Okay. DeAndre Hopkins doing what he does, over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Will Fuller played really well too, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Sack numbers, how did the rookies play? Sharping letting up 12, Titus Howard letting up 9. Not horrible, I've seen worse. 104 total tackles from Benardrick McKinney and Bradley Roby. McKinney had 14 tackles for loss, that's pretty good, but we have J.J. Watt with 23, DJ Reader with 21, and Ndamukong Suh with 11, Jadeveon Clowney with 10. J.J. Watt, 14.5 sacks, doing what he does best. Interceptions, 2 from Bradley Roby, 1 from Jonathan Joseph, Mike Tyson, Aaron Colvin, Justin Reed, and Jaleel Adai. Any safeties? We have 1 from Peter Kalambaye? Kalambaye. Ooh, yeah, I didn't pronounce that right. 2 touchdowns, Bradley Roby, Aaron Colvin each got 1. Blocked kicks, that Peter dude again, and Brandon Dunn. That's a difficult last name to pronounce. I definitely butchered it. 9th on offense. At least it's top 10. 4th on defense. Top 5 in that aspect. So Deshaun Watson was number 4 for MVP. Any rookies in this? Like rookies who were just drafted? I don't see any. AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Sam Darnold wins that one. Deshaun Watson at number 4. I still don't see any rookies who were just drafted. Defensive Player of the Year, CJ Mosley. The Jets went 12-4, my lord. Thomas Davis in 2nd on the Chargers. That's pretty cool. J.J. Watt in there at number 5. Nobody else from my team up there, right? Okay, I didn't see anyone. And then Defensive or Offensive Rookie of the Year, my fault. Sam Darnold wins that one. This is going to be a really mixed list, unless when the rookies were put in, they actually weren't marked in as rookies. That's what it seems like, because these are real-life rookies. Check out the NFC. Any generated players here? No, yeah, Kyler Murray's right there. So, in the AFC, there just weren't any, I guess, notable rookies who were just drafted. Right? I'm not missing anyone. I don't think I am. Okay, anyway. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Josie Jewell wins that one. Yeah, there's Juan Thornhill. Okay, he's an 82 overall at this point. Anybody from the Texans? I don't see anyone. We didn't have that many interesting rookies, like I said, so it's not that big of a deal that we didn't win any. Hopefully these starters on the team can develop into gods. Deshaun Watson on his way there. 5 experience points, 2 from Will Fuller, 1 from other players as well. Defensively, 2 for a bunch of players. I don't see anyone with more than that. Anybody around with more than 2? I don't think so. The team is ready to enter the playoffs. We have to take on the Steelers, who are 9-7. We have an 84 overall squad now. Much improved from the regular season. Let's see if we can take down the Steelers here. What is their overall? They are also an 84, so evenly matched game. Can we shut down their offense? Our defense is actually really good, so we should be able to. Let's see, though. We did. 28-17. We took them down. Now we have to take on the Colts. They are also an 84 overall. Okay, so another pretty evenly matched game. In real life, the Colts came away victorious in this one, and it was also in the wild card round. But let's see what happens in the conference championship. Did we win? We did. We have to go on to the Super Bowl to take on the Saints. All right, let me check out those games before I progress any further, because I want to show you that I did not force any wins. That's lame. I don't do that. So 28-17 against the Steelers, 26-14 against the Colts. All legit. We just took them down. And now we are entering the Super Bowl against the Saints. Let's see if we can come away with a win. The team's looking solid right now. 35-27 is the score. They could tie it up here quickly, but they're not going to be able to. We're going to win this game at 35-27. But Drew Brees, 32 for 50, almost at 35 of 50. 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. A really good performance from him. Deshaun Watson played well too. 342 yards, 73% completion percentage. Did throw 1 interception though. Lamar Miller, 24 for 169. He had a 97-yard rushing touchdown today. Oh my, he was probably MVP. I'd go ahead and probably give it to him. 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins was great. Ted Ginn was good. Michael Thomas was also good. Alvin Kamara scored another touchdown for the Saints, but we ended up winning a Super Bowl without me even doing anything. So now that I actually make improvements to the team, it's very likely we're not going to win another Super Bowl. I think I'm going to bring back Ndamukong Suh. He played well for us, and he's still an 87 overall, so why not, right? How much do you want, my dude? Let's give you that contract. If you accept this, I'll bring you back. Okay, he's coming back to the team. I'm actually okay with that. I probably could have waited and actually tried to sign him back like in free agency, because he usually doesn't get many offers. So now if like an amazing defensive tackle, not that he's not amazing, but like if an over 90 defensive tackle is here, I can't really bring him in. $23 million. Top player is Jay Ajayi. I was thinking about going after a running back, but Jay Ajayi isn't an upgrade over Lamar Miller right now. Eric Armstead I could have brought in to play defensive tackle, but the Dolphins are giving him so many points. Jonathan Hankins would have been someone I could have went after. Okay, so I don't think I'm actually going to grab anybody here. Maybe I'll sign a random corner, because I don't think I'm going to be in the range to draft a top-end cornerback, and Justin Coleman isn't too bad. I just need somebody, because Jonathan Joseph may have retired, because he's not one of my top 2 corners. It's either that, or he is beneath an 80 overall now, which would not be good either. I went after Steven Nelson instead, because I've actually seen Steven Nelson up there for Defensive Back of the Year. So it would be pretty cool if he can make it for us here. So of course I have the last pick in the first round of this year, which is going to be a bit annoying, because I could use one of these top-end offensive linemen, but I don't think I'm going to be able to trade up to take one. So let's just see the top 5. Let's see who goes. Grant Delpit was actually the first player selected. He goes to the Bills. Broncos go with Derek Brown at defensive tackle. CJ Henderson goes to the Jags. Raekwon Davis goes to the Titans. And the Dolphins select Trey Smith. Alright, so I'm just going to go to my pick. There's probably not going to be many first-round talented players left. Baron Browning went right at the end of the first round. Laviska Shenault is here. He might have to be the player I go with. He's an interesting looking player. I could have him play the number 3 or something. I don't really need him all that badly though. Najee Harris is also in the conversation. I could have him start at running back over Lamar Miller maybe. Let's see though. Before I make any decisions, who in the first round do I have on my draft board? I actually think it's just Shenault. Yes, it is. So I could use some offensive linemen like I mentioned. Did Albert Okwuegbunam actually get selected as well? I'm surprised Okwuegbunam already went. I think Laviska Shenault might have to be the player I go with. Because in like the second round, I could probably go J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor if I want a running back. So let's do that. Laviska Shenault, welcome to the team. 79 overall, quick development. I actually don't think he's going to take the place of Will Fuller or anything, but he will be the number 3 wide receiver and will hopefully play pretty well. We are at the end of the second round now. Are there any good running backs still here? Travis Etienne is like the best running back left, but I think Cam Akers is actually really solid in this draft class. So I'm going to throw him on my draft board and maybe try to select him at the end of the next round. Marco Wilson could be the player I go with now. I could also use a tight end. And I don't really need a corner anymore because I did sign one. So I'm going to go with Brock Wright, I think. Looks like a pretty decent tight end, and maybe he can come in and start. 77 overall, normal development. You can definitely come in and start. Only 75 speed, but that shouldn't matter too much in simulation. We have another second round draft pick. So let's see who else we can snag. Justin Herbert is still here, which is funny. Any offensive linemen who I could go with? I should probably go with one of these dudes now. And there's no one who looks that good. Man, I could really use an offensive lineman to play guard or something. Landon Young, maybe? Supposed to be a mid-third rounder. He's definitely not going to be there when I select again. And he's probably the best out of all of the offensive linemen left, so let's just go with him. Hopefully he's something good. 74 overall, normal development. Okay, so he's not that great, but he might be able to slide into guard and maybe develop. With this pick now, I'm going to go with Cam Akers if he's still here. I'm pretty sure he's like an 80 overall or something. And he's not still here. Okay, that's surprising. I thought he'd stay, because usually first-round running backs stay pretty long. It's not the end of the world. I mean, like, Lamar Miller's still pretty decent. I'll probably try to snag a running back at some point. I should probably just go with one now, if I'm being real, but let me just make sure I'm not missing out on anybody else I would much rather have. Doesn't really look like it based on some of the combine grades here. Like a decent looking outside linebacker who I don't really need on this team. Okay, so let's go with the running back. Let's go with Zach Moss. 78 overall. Normal development. Really not too bad. I don't think that's good enough to start, but not a horrible selection. Right here, I think I'm going to go with Avery Cole. He looks like a pretty decent offensive lineman. He's a solid combine. It's a 6.1 grade. 33 reps is also quite nice, so here we go. 74 overall once again. Not bad depth, but I don't think these guys are starting caliber right now. This draft was pretty solid in general. We snagged some players who could definitely start, like Laviska Shenault will probably make an impact to this team. Brock Wright will start at tight end. Landon Young may find his way into the starting lineup on offensive line. Maybe I can try to slide him to guard and see what his overall is. Zach Moss, I don't think is going to start. Maybe he'll be the backup running back, and maybe he can just snag a couple experience points or something. And then a few other players down here. Nothing really interesting happened after the Cole selection, so I didn't show any of the rest of it. Let's check out some of these other overalls here. It's the same draft class I usually use in my videos, but in case anybody is new and doesn't know what the class looks like, Andrew Thomas there, starting a left tackle probably starting a left tackle there for the Vikings. Jalen Thompson, free safety for the Lions. Walker Little went to the Buccaneers. Let's see when Cam Akers went, because I was thinking about selecting him. I didn't mean to sort by that. If you sort by overall, I'm pretty sure he's one of the top few guys. So Najee Harris went in the second round. He would have been a cool selection to go with. He went shortly after I selected in the first round. J.K. Dobbins went 2 picks after him, I think. Or no, 1 pick after him. Okay. DeAndre Swift went a couple picks later as well. Cam Akers, 3rd round, 28th pick. I think I picked the 32nd pick in the 3rd round, so we just barely missed him. That's a shame, but it's all good. This is what the team is going to look like for this next season. The scheme fit percentage on offense isn't that good, but a lot of that just has to do with the fact that none of the offensive linemen fit this scheme. The offensive line isn't really much better than it was last year. Hopefully we can upgrade in free agency and through the next draft. That's what I'm hoping to do. Laviska Shenault, probably the most notable acquisition on offense, going to be starting at number 3 wide receiver, and then Wright starting at tight end. Hopefully he can play pretty well too. Defensively, we have a few experience points that I can actually spend. I will get to that eventually, but Steven Nelson now, the nickel corner on this team, I think he can contribute pretty well. And then I don't think there are any other, different starters here on defense. Specialist, though, this looks a little bit different. So Shenault starting at slot wide receiver. I want to see what he can do there. J.J. Watt playing rush right end. DJ Reader playing rush defensive tackle. J.J. Watt actually started at rush right end last year. I forgot to show that off, but once we signed Ndamukong Suh, I changed some stuff around. He also went off last year. Watt did, and I'm excited to see what he can do again. So this team should play pretty well once again. Hopefully Shenault can get a lot of experience points, because then we can have just a nasty wide receiver trio if he does. The team only has 1 loss again here at the midseason. We are 6-1 this time, just 1 fewer win, but that's okay. The Titans 4-4, the Jaguars 3-4, the Colts 2-5. Here's a look at the defense, 2 experience points there from Reed. He should go up to a 90 overall at least this year, probably even higher than that. On the offense, we have 2 from Deshaun Watson, 1 from a couple other players. So Ndamukong Suh can come back to the team again. Of course, we only signed him to a 1-year deal last year. I'm going to let him go, I think, just because I want to see what he goes down to overall-wise, because he's probably going to regress. Lamar Miller will also regress, most likely, because usually 28, 29 is when they start regressing, so I don't think I'm going to bring him back to the team. This next free agency period is also pretty loaded with running backs every once in a while, so I'm going to look out for that. DJ Reader, I want back on the team. Will Fuller, I would like back. Whitney Merciless is interesting as well. He's probably going to go down to like an 80 overall. I'm going to hold off. If he doesn't go down that badly, I'll probably bring him back. Nick Martin, I think, is currently starting, so maybe I can bring him back to the team. Titus Howard, I feel like shouldn't have a contract right now. He's a first-round draft pick. I thought they all had like a 3 or 4 year contract, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I'll bring him back to the team as well. DJ Reader, Will Fuller, Nick Martin, and Titus Howard return to the team. Those other guys I will check back with later. We got another first-round bye. We can also look at the weekly awards. Let's do that. That means we have a winner. Benardrick McKinney, 4 tackles, 2 interceptions. All right. But let's check out the record. How did we do? 13-3 this season, 11-5 from the Titans, Jaguars, and Colts 4-12. So we improved this year. That's nice to see. I actually improved the team, and their record showed. That usually doesn't happen, but undefeated in the preseason, won the opening 2 games, lost by 7 points to the Chargers, won, I think, 6 in a row, lost by 14 points to the Titans, kind of got whopped there, and then lost by 3 to the Broncos. So 2 of those games were very close, the other one not so much. We also, I think, shut out some team, 27-0. I didn't take notice who the team was, but Deshaun Watson wins MVP. 4,666 yards, 39 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Definitely deserving of MVP. He was remarkable. AJ McCarron, though, higher quarterback rating. 7 for 8, 2 touchdowns. What a legend. He has, more touchdowns than he does incompletions. Lamar Miller, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Pretty decent season. Still under 4 yards a carry. That's okay, though. Zach Moss gets 5 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins was great. 98 catches, 1,244 yards, 7 touchdowns. Will Fuller still got involved, 85 catches, 863 yards, 7 touchdowns. Laviska Shenault was a menace out of that slot position, nearly 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. Brock Wright also got 7. That is amazing production from everyone there. That's exactly how I wanted the offense to play. Sack numbers, not horrible once again. I don't really know what to expect from these guys, but 12 isn't as bad as I've seen some like amazing offensive linemen play. So 101 total tackles from Aaron Colvin leads the team. 18 tackles for loss for J.J. Watt leads the team. 14 from DJ Reader. We have 15 sacks from Jadeveon Clowney. 10.5 from J.J. Watt. I see some pretty cool number down here. 5 interceptions from Bernardrick McKinney is awesome. 3 from Aaron Colvin, 2 from Tayshaun Gibson Sr. and Justin Reed. 1 from Jadeveon Clowney, Steven Nelson, and Jaleel Adai. Bernardrick McKinney, man, went off. Of course, he got 2 of those picks in Week 17. No defensive touchdowns, no safeties, no blocked kicks. That's okay, though. Our defense should probably be top 5 again. 3rd on offense this year. Defense was 2nd. Okay, so we're improving in both categories. Deshaun Watson, MVP. We already knew that. Nobody else from our team, but Kyler Murray on the Cardinals, who tied twice at number 10. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Deshaun Watson. Defensive Player of the Year, Jatavis Brown. Jadeveon Clowney at number 4. Bernardrick McKinney all the way at number 6. Man, I feel like he should have been higher. Duran Harmon makes it at number 7. Okay. Aaron Colvin, though, at number 8. Didn't really expect to see him there. That's cool, I guess. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jake Fromm going to the Patriots. They always draft so well. Laviska Shenault at number 3. Brock Wright, Zach Moss, number 8 and number 9. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Dylan Moses. 89 overall for him, too. Man. I don't think there's anybody from the Texans. At least I didn't see anyone. So let's see how many experience points Deshaun Watson got for winning MVP. He got 8. He is going to be a 99, I think, with confidence. That is amazing. 3 for the tight end. Also nice. Laviska Shenault. He also got 3. All right. Defensively, then. 3 from Reed, I think, is the most, but 2 for a few other players is not bad at all. Bernardrick McKinney should have gotten more than just 1. He had a great season. In the divisional round of the playoffs, we have to take on the Chargers, who are a great team in Madden. The team's an 86 overall down. Deshaun Watson, 99 with confidence. Exactly what I wanted to see. Shenault went up pretty well. Wright is now an 81. And then on the defensive side, Justin Reed chilling at a 91 overall. This team's looking real good. I'm excited to see what we can do in the playoffs. So here we go. Trying to take on the Chargers. They might have a higher overall, but... Okay, I was going to say it's not likely, but they actually do. 87 overall for them, 86 for us. I feel like a lot of that has to do with our lackluster offensive line. But let's advance the week. Can we take down the Chargers? We can, and we have to take on the Patriots with Jake Fromm at the helm. They're in 84. We are in 86. Let's go. Can we make it to back-to-back Super Bowls? Advance to the Pro Bowl. Did we beat the Patriots? We did by 1 point. That was probably an extremely interesting game to look at. Let's advance the week, though, again. We have to take on the Cowboys. And, of course, before I get into the game, I'll run by the specifics of these games to ensure that I didn't force win, or ensure to you guys I didn't force win. We just kind of destroyed the Chargers 37-15, and then of course just barely beat the Patriots by 1 point. So now we have to take on the Cowboys, who I think tied twice. No, they did not. 11-4-1. I thought it said 12-4, or I thought it said 10-4 and something. But here we go. They're in 90 overall, and we are still in 86. Maybe we can win back-to-back Super Bowls, though. Having to go up against 2 of the better teams in the NFC, at least in Madden, in the Saints and the Cowboys in these Super Bowls so far. We're actually kind of getting smoked in this one. It's 20-9. We have not scored a touchdown yet. 23-9. 23-16. Can we get the ball back? We can, but we can't do anything with it. We lose the Super Bowl here by 7 points. That sucks, but at least we won one the previous year. Deshaun Watson didn't really play too well. Neither did Dak Prescott, though. He only completed 15 passes. Deshaun Watson, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. They both had relatively similar days. Deshaun Watson just threw a lot more. Ezekiel Elliott ran the ball a ton. 31 carries for him, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamar Miller, okay game, but only ran the ball 13 times. Will Fuller was very good. DeAndre Hopkins and Randall Cobb each caught touchdown passes. It sucks we couldn't go back-to-back, but at least we made it to the big game 2 years in a row. The top free agent, once again, is Ndamukong Suh. I don't think I'm going to try to bring him back. If he is in free agency and there's not any other good defensive tackles, and he's not getting many offers, then maybe I'll go after him again. Lamar Miller, like I mentioned, he was going to regress. I don't really want him anymore. Whitney Merciless, he regressed pretty badly as well. Don't really want him anymore. I think I can replace all these guys relatively easily. Dylan Cole isn't really needed on this team. He's just like the third string middle linebacker, so again, I'll let him go. I could sign another punter. That's not really the end of the world. There's a fullback here who I think was drafted by them. I'll let him go too. It doesn't really matter. Fullbacks don't make too much of a difference in simulation. So this is a pretty big free agency period, though. We need a couple players here. $42.8 million. We can definitely bring in some good players. Kareem Hunt is probably going to come to the team. That is awesome to see. He's going to be the starting running back for us next year. Derrick Henry, I could go with him, but Kareem Hunt plays so much better in Madden. Eric Ebron, I don't really need anymore now that we have Wright. He's a solid tight end. Carson Wentz, definitely don't need him. 98 overall, Deshaun Watson, I'll take any day. Ndamukong Suh, currently not getting any contracts. He might have to be the look at defensive tackle unless I can find like a defensive end who could play there. Like, I've made this transition for Shaq Lawson a few times, but he's nowhere near being a nose tackle. Let's see at right end. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it with anyone here, so I might just have to go with Ndamukong Suh. Danny Shelton's a solid nose tackle, but, I mean, Suh's an 85 overall. Why would I not go with him? So I'll go after a few players. I'll let you know who I get. That's nice to see. We got Kareem Hunt on the team. He's one of the new highest rated players on the offense. We also got Spiegel at punter. We got Ndamukong Suh and Anthony Brown. Okay, so the team upgraded a lot in that offseason. I think we signed a bunch of players who we needed, and I still need an outside linebacker. Sort of forgot about that, but I'm sure I could find someone. We have the 31st overall pick in the first round now, of course, because we lost the Super Bowl. But here we go. Who can we go with? Asante Samuel Jr. went pick 29. Not 29, pick 30. I saw 79 overall and for some reason said 29, but wow, okay, I think that's kind of late for him. I thought he'd go earlier than that, but Trevor Lawrence is here. What are you on about? Okay, well, I don't really need a defensive tackle. I threw him on my draft board in case I didn't sign one, but interesting to see. I could have went with him. He's supposed to be an early first rounder. That's absurd. Why is he still available? I could go with a safety. I mean, Richie Grant, only dude I have here. I don't really think he's going to be anything special. He doesn't look that good, at least just based on his top 3 skills. Maybe Trey Dean could come play safety. I kind of need a replacement for Tayshaun Gibson. I kind of need an outside linebacker. No chance this dude's still here. He is not. Okay. So, I might go with Tyler Shelvin, just to get a backup defensive tackle. Let's just do that. I'm okay with it. 78 overall, star development. That was an excellent draft pick to take near the end of the first round. Okay. We are now at the end of the second round. Justin Shorter was just drafted to the Eagles. Trevor Lawrence is here. I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence, I think, just so nobody else gets him. Why does this keep happening in these rebuilds? It makes no sense why some of these players are still available. Let me just make sure that I don't need anybody else. I mean, I could go with this dude. I probably would rather have this guy, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. My offensive line has played okay. You know, I haven't really needed to change it all that much, even though it's not that good. I'm going to throw some players on my draft board so the computer can just snag me those players later. Just in case they're still available, you know, you never know. This guy looks pretty good too, though. I don't really want to go with him anymore. He doesn't look too strong. I think I'm just going to go with Trevor Lawrence and have the best quarterback duo in the entire NFL. Let's do that. I don't want anybody else taking Trevor Lawrence. We have an 84 overall superstar at the end of the second round. That is so stupid. Okay, alright, well, obviously that's not realistic whatsoever, but, you know, I still wanted to do it because it's kind of funny. I think I'm going to go with this outside linebacker, in case he's, like, decent at pass rushing. I know it says he's a run stopper, as his type, but I still think he might be able to get the job done. He has decent block shed. Let's just see what he's all about. 73 overall, normal development. He's not really much of a rusher at all, so that really wasn't a good pick, but whatever. He's just going to be a depth player. I simulated the draft after that last pick, and I threw a bunch of players on my draft board just to see you know, who the computer could select for me. I think B.J. McCleskey was probably one of them. Decent looking pass rusher. He might even start. Nah, probably not. He's only 71 overall. A few other players down here as well, but let's check out the entire NFL. So, The first player to go was Micah Parsons, number 1 overall. Rondale Moore goes number 2, and he doesn't go to Vanderbilt. I'm pretty sure he goes to Purdue. Could be wrong, but pretty sure this guy goes to Purdue. Whatever. Caden Stearns, number 3 overall. Only a 76 overall player, too. Foster Sorrell, left tackle, apparently out of Stanford. I don't know if I can really trust all these because I'm pretty certain Rondale Moore does not go to Vanderbilt. But whatever. Xavier McKinney, solid-looking free safety. Only a 78 overall, though. Stanford Samuels III is a beast. 82 overall. Probably the best corner in this class. But we got the top player in the class entirely in Trevor Lawrence. We got him in the 2nd round somehow. I just want to reiterate the fact that I know this is not, that's not a realistic move at all, but I don't care. I wanted to go with him so no one else did. This team is looking really nice heading into this final season. We are an 89 overall, 91 on offense and defense, but Deshaun Watson's a 98, DeAndre Hopkins a 99, Kareem Hunt 94. The playmakers on this offensive side are honestly never ending. Will Fuller is here. Laviska Shenault is here. Wright had a good season last year. The offensive line kind of sucks, but really not that big of a deal. They've played well so far. And then on the defense, so many superstars over here too. J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, and Ndamukong Suh still an 85. DJ Reader's up to an 87. Bernardrick McKinney played out of his mind last year. Justin Reed, 92 overall. So the team is definitely good. We should be able to make it back into the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive year. Let's see if we can. We made the playoffs again, this time having to play in the wild card round, but that's okay. We went 10-6, having a nice season once more. 10-6 also from the Ravens. Again, we have another weekly award winner. It is going to be Deshaun Watson. 5 passing touchdowns, 453 yards. Settle down, my dude. He did throw 2 interceptions, but that's okay. We won the division. Once again, the Titans 8-8 and the Colts. And then the Jaguars were 5-11. So checking out the team schedule here. 3-1 in the preseason. Lost the first 2 games, surprisingly. Beat the Jags, lost to the Chargers. Lost 2 more games, and then won 4 straight? No, 5 in a row. Lost to the Patriots by 1 point. Okay, so we beat them by 1 point in the playoffs last year, and then they beat us by 1 point. Okay, and then we won the final 2 games, putting up 42 points in each of those games there. Deshaun Watson won MVP for the 2nd straight year. This dude's a glitch. That's all I gotta say. 4,566 yards, 41 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Again, just playing out of his mind. Kareem Hunt was amazing. 1,471 yards, 11 touchdowns. Exactly what we signed him, to do. DeAndre Hopkins, 103 catches, 1,162 yards, 12 touchdowns. Brock Wright, 8 touchdowns, 787 yards. Will Fuller, 75 for 706 for 3 touchdowns. Laviska Shenault, over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. All of these guys are playing so well. This offense has to be one of the best in the NFL once again. The offensive line played really well this season. There we go. They liked that I put faith in them. It worked out in the end. 109 tackles from Bernardrick McKinney. 11 tackles for loss for 4 players. Bernardrick McKinney, J.J. Watt, and Ndamukong Suh, DJ Reader. I think we have 3 players who got at least 10 sacks. Jadeveon Clowney, J.J. Watt, and Ndamukong Suh. Ferocious defensive line there. 5 interceptions from Bradley Roby. Probably in the conversation for best defensive back this past year. Jadeveon Clowney and Anthony Brown each had 1 interception. Do we have any defensive touchdowns? No. What about safeties? No, and I see at least 1 blocked kick down there. We got 2. Ndamukong Suh. Charles Omenihu. Another name I don't really know how to pronounce, but whatever. First on offense. I'm saying top 10 on defense this year. 13th, so just outside of the top 10. Deshaun Watson, MVP for the 2nd straight year. Kyler Murray at number 2, though. That's pretty cool. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Deshaun Watson. Kareem Hunt at number 3. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett wins that one. Jadeveon Clowney at number 6. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Justin Ross wins that for the Broncos. Nobody else, or nobody at all from our team. My bad. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Quay Walker. Nobody from the Texans. Best quarterback, Deshaun Watson, of course. Best running back, Le'Veon Bell wins it. Just a bit over Kareem Hunt there. Nick Chubb at number 3. Best wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins. Laviska Shenault. DeAndre Hopkins at number 1, of course. Laviska Shenault at number 3. Best offensive lineman, Joel Bitonio. He frequently wins that award. Best defensive lineman, Myles Garrett. J.J. Watt, though, at number 3. And Ndamukong Suh at number 9. Best linebacker, C.J. Mosley. Jadeveon Clowney right behind him. Best defensive back, Bradley Roby actually takes that one home. That's pretty cool. Best kicker, Justin Tucker wins it. Fairbairn is not there, but that's okay. Let's see how many experience points we got here. Deshaun Watson, easily going to be a 99 overall at this point. 3 experience points for him. Laviska Shenault got 7. Wright has 3 over there. Sharping has 2 on the defense. We have 2 from DJ Reader, and I think that is the most. Even though Bradley Roby won Best Defensive Back, you only got 1. Can we make it to 3 straight Super Bowls this season? We have to play 1 extra game in the playoffs this year as opposed to the other 2 because we are in the wild card round. But Laviska Shenault, now a 91 overall, star development. Dude's an animal. Honestly, an absolute beast. And then on the defense, it's looking nice on this side of the ball as well. But here we go. Let's go into this game against the Ravens just to see what the overalls are. They're an 87. We are a 92, so we have the advantage. Let's advance the week here. Can we take down the Ravens, who are definitely defense-oriented? At least they are in real life. Let's see if they can lose here, and they can. 21-19, very close game, having to take on the Chargers here. Last year we took them on, I think, at the same spot. They're an 86 overall. We kept our 92. We can actually upgrade some players, but I'll do that at the end. Let's advance the week to the conference championship. Are we in it? We are, and we have to play against the Browns, who are always extremely good at this point. They're an 89, so we still have the overall advantage. Come on, here's to our 3rd straight Super Bowl appearance. Let's sim straight to the Super Bowl. Are we going to be in it? We are, and we have to go against Kyler Murray and his Cardinals. But before we do that, let's look at the score of the games here. So 21-19, 35-14, 34-31. We kind of destroyed the Chargers, I think, both times we played them in the playoffs. But here we go, having to take on the Cardinals. This should be a pretty close game. I'm not exactly sure what to expect. I'm going to upgrade the players just quickly. Let's just do it this way. Get the best possible team we can have to try to take down Kyler Murray. What is their overall? It can't be that high. An 83. Kyler Murray really is something else. Their offense has scored on every possession so far. Scores 34-10. There's like no chance we make a comeback here. 37-16. We lose. So our Super Bowl record in this video is 1-2, but we made it to 3. I actually can't remember the last time I've made it to 3 Super Bowls in a rebuild before. But that is going to conclude this one. I still think it was very successful. We at least won one of the Super Bowls, so that's always cool. I think we built a very nice team. It was really difficult for me to find some offensive linemen to try to build behind, because the offensive line was definitely the biggest issue for this team the entire time. This past season, though, they played well, but still the overalls really weren't there. I think the highest overall offensive lineman was like Zach Fulton at like an 80 near the end. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you Texans fans out there were able to enjoy this video. I hope you guys didn't get too upset. But David Johnson actually wins MVP, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns. Definitely deserved. But once more, I hope you guys were able to enjoy this video. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like. It definitely helps me out in the end. Comment whatever you'll want. I love reading comments, and I usually try to reply to all of them if I can. And I will talk to you guys soon.